Hare Krishna and Namaste. I tried filming this video earlier, but the microphone is off. So now we have to start this all over again. Not all over again because I didn't get through all the questions, but yay for me. So today I'm doing a Q&A because I haven't done one in like a year, maybe. Yeah, like a year, maybe 6 months ago. Has to be a year because, yeah, it was last spring. But anyway, so the first question of the day, I'm going to start off on YouTube. It is the comment or the question is, do you have any future plans to visit India? Yes, I did. I was supposed to be visiting at the end of this month or possibly sometime in the summer. But we all know how the coronavirus works, and travel is probably not going to be very attainable until after this is kind of calmed down a bit. So I kind of had to get rid of my plans, but I had plans to go visit Vrindavan, New Delhi, Agra, and I think we're gonna go to West Bengal. I can't remember the exact name, like how to pronounce the name. Mayapur. I think I pronounced it right, but if I didn't, please correct me in the comments and criticize. Because I really need to learn how to pronounce these names, and I'm trying to learn Hindi. Which is actually, the next question is, do you know Hindi? And a little bit, I can understand it. So if someone's speaking it to me, I can understand it. But I have trouble replying in Hindi because I get like the female and like the masculine way, like the language is confused because I will say something and it's in masculine form, or I will say something and the sentence will be shaped like an English sentence, but that doesn't make sense in Hindi. So yes, I can understand Hindi, I can understand Hindi songs, but I can't speak it very well. I'm still trying to learn, so wish me luck. I'm on level 12 on my Hindi program. It took me like a whole month to get to that, so yeah. One thing you'd like to change in Hinduism. I actually have 3 big things that I would change, but it's not about Hinduism. It's about how people practice Hinduism or how people think they're practicing Hinduism that I would change. The number one, like the absolute number one, is the caste system. In the early days of Hinduism, the caste system was not necessarily like how Americans are. Like we have like social classes. It was mostly an order in how people were to work. Just like in England they had it a little bit. For example, not everybody in the kingdom can be a king. Nothing will happen. Like, it's just gonna be a pain. Not everybody can be a merchant. Not everybody can, dust the streets or fight in wars, because that's just not gonna help anybody. People would starve to death. It wouldn't be run efficiently. So basically, the caste system was basically like, hey, you're good at this, you're in that area. People didn't necessarily go after people like they do today. Like, there are certain people who are now committing violent acts against the lowest caste. And I think that is absolutely terrible. And people are talking down to them, they're making them feel worthless, when in reality the caste system is supposed to be like everybody has a job to do and we're supposed to respect that other person for that job. That kind of thing. But it's not necessarily a thing in Hinduism where you go after people because they're caste. It's more of a cultural thing that happened. Another thing I'd like to change in Hinduism would be animal sacrifice. I do know that in some books they say it's okay to do it under these certain laws. You can do animal sacrifices, but it's not needed. It is not needed, it is not warranted most of the time. Most of the time it's just people finding a way for them to get the taste of meat, which back in the Vedas it states that, hey, if you are desperate for food, this is how you prepare it, this is how you sacrifice it, this is how you can make it okay. But people are just like, I really like the taste of chicken, so I'm going to sacrifice this chicken. Because then I can still say I'm great, and I'm following the rules, and I eat meat. That is kind of how I'm catching on to it from the videos that I've watched about animal sacrifice, is that it's not needed, it's a waste of life, and for 3, why? Like, it's a cultural thing, and it's a taste thing. It's not necessarily a Hinduism thing anymore. It's more of like, I like the taste, and this is a cultural dish I can make with that meat. I'm trying to explain it the best I can, but I wish I could change that, and I wish there was a way for people to lean more towards like a cruelty-free zone, because that is what Hinduism mostly promotes, is putting as little harm on the earth as possible. And when you eat plants, yes, you're still getting karmic reaction because you are killing that plant, but that plant does not have a nervous system. It does not have blood that runs through a system, and yeah. And when you kill an animal, that animal has to eat a ton of plants. And so when you kill an animal, you're not only getting that plant, the death of the plant, you're getting the death of the animal. So you're getting 2 things at once that are karmic now in your body. But when you do plants and you eat like a pure plant diet and you offer it, you get no karmic reaction. Like nothing, basically it's like nothing died at all. But when you kill an animal, you still have that karmic reaction. Hope that made sense. The other question is, have you secretly visited India? I have not secretly visited India at all. Yeah, I wish I had, but I have never visited India, and I wish I had, but I wish I had those experiences because it would be a lot more helpful to me. Oh my goodness. So the next question, a very beautiful question, I actually think, is why choose Hinduism? There are many other religions out there. Why did I choose Hinduism? And did I choose what drew me the most to Hinduism? And I think it's because Hinduism, I'm trying to think, because there are so many reasons why I chose my path the way I chose it, and it's really hard to explain to other people. And that's my whole point of my channel, is to explain why I chose what I chose and why I worship who I worship. And yeah, I chose Hinduism because when I first was introduced to Hinduism, it drew me in like no other like religion had. And I don't like to say religion to Hinduism because it's not technically a religion. It's more or less a way of life. I can still be a Hindu and I can still technically go to church because Hinduism, we're seeking truth. So I can still say I believe in Jesus. I can still believe, I can very technically say that under Hinduism, but the same is not true for like another practice. For example, if I was a practicing Christian, I could not say, I worship goddess Durga. They would highly look down upon that. But if I'm a Hindu, I can say, I think Jesus was a really nice guy, and I think he did great things. And not many people would try to, like, disagree. They can disagree with me, but they're not going to fight me on it. That's what I like about Hinduism, is that it's full of diversity, people are very open, and people are just respectful. That was the first thing that really drew me in. But why did I choose it in general? And the thing is that unlike any other section of any other sort of beliefs, everything in Hinduism fit my moral code. Everything that I think is morally right aligns with Hinduism versus other religions. And when I read a book like the Vedas or the Bhagavad Gita, it makes complete sense to me and I can easily break it down. But if I read, for example, the Bible or the Quran, I find a bunch of like faults in it for me that I think are, but I don't know how to explain it. but I feel like they're asking you to do one thing, but then the people in the book are doing something else. You know what I mean? And I don't agree with that. I don't want to say it in a way that would offend anybody because I do respect all beliefs. I believe every belief system has truth to it. That is what we believe in. Everything has truth to it, but it's up to us. It's up to us to find like the falseness in the, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to find the words because I don't know, I was not prepared for that question. I just looked in my phone. And my whole YouTube channel is about why I chose what I chose. And I hope that made sense. If it didn't, please tell me and I will explain it. This one's a little weird. It's basically asking me if I would ever cheat on my husband or my boyfriend with a male friend or colleague. And I'm not necessarily sure if I should answer that because I think it's very obvious what I would do. For me, if I'm married or even in a committed relationship, I don't see anybody as a potential suitor. Does that make sense? Because I am very devoted. When I'm in a relationship, I'm very devoted. My boyfriend right now, no matter what happens, even if we got into a huge fight and let's say a guy friend came over and was like, hey, I really like you in this way, I'm not going to be receptive of it because I see all my guy friends as like my brothers. I see them as like my family. And it's basically asking me if I would cheat on my boyfriend with my brother, which I would not do. Like, very technically to me, in my mind, when I meet a guy in the street, I will call him like brother, I'll call him bro, I will call him my friend. Like, I very rarely introduce somebody directly by their name. I'll be like, my brother Scott, my brother Raj, my brother, you know what I mean? I will never introduce them just by, oh, this is my dude Scott. It would very much be like my brother or my bro. So it's like every time I meet a new person online, I'm very much like, this is like a brother figure to me or like a father figure to me. It's never like, you're my bro. Like, no, not like that. It's not like ever in a romantic way when I talk to like another person, like another guy. It's very hard to explain because I know like a lot of people nowadays are just like, you only live once, so like why not have many suitors come after you? But for me, I just want one deep connection with one person. And when I get married to that person, I will never be unfaithful to them. I will always be near their side. I think that being unfaithful or being a cheater is like being a coward. It's like being a coward. Because you're literally hurting the person that you love the most because you cannot control your feelings. Does that make sense? It's kind of like you go into battle and you kill one of your teammates, but you save the other person, like the opposing side. I don't know how else to explain it. I just would never do that. I look down upon people who do cheat because I think that's terrible. I have never once in my life been like, yes, you go, girl, you cheat on him. Yes, you go. I think it's terrible no matter how badly the relationship has went. I believe that you should always take the high road and be like, we're done. You should never cheat on somebody. I don't even know why I got that question. You think it'd be obvious by the way I carry myself that I wouldn't cheat? Or do I carry myself on like somebody who would cheat? I don't know. I can normally tell when people are going to do it, like the type of people who would do it, but okay, so that's it. There's a lot more questions that I got, but I don't want to go over I don't want to go into 20 minutes, the 20-minute zone. So everybody, namaste and Hare Krishna.